Watch this cut by Murray. He does this twice in this game. The first one, you get a post entry and a cut through. Okay, great job. Now you're going to clear the side, right? Here's what I love about this play. When you have especially a player like Jamal Murray who you don't want to leave, now you have to communicate. These two defenders have to communicate who helps. Paul George saying, I'm going to go. And Murray's reading this. You think he's going to clear out to the side, but he's not. He clears out, and then he cuts through. So now Paul George goes to double. Kawhi Leonard follows Murray through, and here comes Aaron Gordon for a wide open dunk. This is all Jamal Murray reading the court well. I mean, Murray and Jokic, Jokic gets the credit for his great vision, and I mean, he obviously does, but both of them see it. Both of them set it up, and you get Aaron Gordon that perfect dunk. It's another example of Murray after a little bit of 21 chase action here. You get Murray with the cut through. You get Jokic. Now we got a switch. Did a great job of generating that switch. Murray's going to clear out the side, right? Same thing. Now the help's coming from here. Murray, rather than clear out, knows he can drag the defender back over here to this vacant corner. Jokic doesn't even have to change his eyes. He just knows instinctually. Aaron Gordon's there. Boom. Same exact play, and one even. Same exact gravity from Murray as the one before. He's so good at this. Murray should get an assist for that. It's a cut assist.
Another example. This is actually a prior example, but you're going to see the same thing. Screen. This is actually the first of 4 times they ran at him. Just out of order here, but then you pop. Both guys go. You pop. You rewind it just a hair. Screen. I mean, this screen is just so tough. RJ has to sink or else you give that switch. You release. Curtains. I love the Nuggets putting Aaron Gordon at the lead ball handler here because, again, it allows you to put Michael Porter and Will Barton in the corner, 2 very good corner shooters, and it allows you entry feed to Jokic, and then this action that I talk about is the staple of all their actions. Murray is the screener. You don't want to switch this. They do switch it. It's a great setup. You saw Aaron Gordon set up the right, left. They do have to switch this now. He's just too big. And one. Okay, but defense will adjust. They won't get it 2 times in a row. Or will they? Okay, but surely it won't work a 3rd straight time. Look at how much they're jamming the screen on this. Oh no. Now we got to switch. RJ Hampton on Jokic. Whoop. Denver could just run so many interesting actions here. It's a horn set. You can't, because they zoomed in, it's kind of hard to see here, but you're going to get a ball screen. You got Aaron Gordon on the opposite elbow here. So you get the ball screen, so you see he's kind of on the opposite. They actually play this a little bit higher than the elbows. They're up a little bit high, but Jokic sets the screen, and you're going to see Aaron Gordon slip, but he only slips to set the screen on the big. It's almost like a Spain action. So then when the pass comes over, Aaron Gordon is screening, and you force the switch. Boom. You got it. Now get out of there. Let Jokic eat some baby food. Look at this play design one more time. Jokic screens. Gordon slips, only to screen that Spain screen. I mean, it's so easy for Denver to generate looks when they have this configuration out there. That was easy. Example 1 million of how easy the Nuggets are getting looks with this group on the court. Little horns action, step up, roll here. All you're doing, this is how easy the game is. All you're doing is putting a single side tag on one side, it's Will Barton, and you're running pick and roll. Jokic releases to this side. Defense has to show, so Jokic releases to this side. Now you've got Aaron Gordon in the dunker, shooter in the corner. Jokic attacks. Defense commits to Jokic. Wide open 3-pointer with rebounding. It's not like they're running complex stuff here. Pick and roll. Pick your poison. Here's that delay screen the screener action, but with Jokic now in this zone. Screening for Michael Porter. Again, usually he's up here, but Nuggets can invert it. Forces this over. He doesn't want to help. Dwight especially, because Dwight's at this stage of his career like a bit of a stat hunter. Like he doesn't want to be outdueled, so he's not even going to help. Nice little curl. Nice little dunk. Chalk this one up to mildly interesting. Very next play, they run the exact same action. This time Dwight Howard, because he just gave up the dunk. Now he feels like he needs to help, so he jumps off. And look what happens. Jokic wide open for 3. Or you create the switch.
but Jokic takes 3. Doesn't make it. Aaron Gordon does a good job of keeping it alive. Murray kind of forces a shot here. Doesn't make that one either. But just kind of neat to see how you run plays in order and defenses adjust. And when they adjust in predictable ways, you get exactly what you want. See, now Jokic sees. All right, they're off. Flare out to here. Get a shot. It's a great play that describes what I mean when I say the Nuggets are so interchangeable. We've been talking about that MPJ or Gordon back screen for Murray, or Murray back screen for Gordon or MPJ. Here we have Jokic back screen here, and it's the exact same. Again, they don't want to switch this. You don't want your center to have to go over here. So they're drag, which means Jokic is now open for 3. I think in due time, Gordon's going to be able to even give a little pump fake here to keep him, to freeze this defender even a second longer. A little pass fake here freezes him. But even here, now you have 2 guys that are trying to recover. Jokic, the best passer in the world, sneaks it in there. And Murray does a little bit of dancing here, but ultimately gets it to go. That's just another one of those simple back screens where Denver puts so much pressure on teams not to. We'll see corner action. The other day they ran it with Gordon here, Michael Porter in the corner. Now we're going to run the opposite, but rather than just have him as a stagnant floor spacer, we're getting ready to set this flare screen. Never even has to come. But by virtue of him being, Gordon being up the court a little, the defense isn't able to sag and be over. The defense is kind of in this awkward zone. And you can see, boom, perfectly. Nuggets getting layups and dunks out of that set with the first options. Like this action here, you run, notice obviously, Denver's a little play here, but you see how the defense jams, so they actually, rather than have Barton come around and set the screen, they actually turn it into a flare. And you can see the defense was expecting that C corner option, so they go under it, and then you get a little flare screen, wide open shot in the corner. He doesn't hit it, but it's still kind of a cool action. You can see, look, oh, we'll just do this. And again, I'm not sure if this was a play that was called or if this was just a read between Jermichael Green and Will Barton. But that's just, again, read and react basketball. Even in the same set, you can get completely different. I spent so much time talking about how teams don't want to switch the C corner action when it's guard to big, especially with Aaron Gordon or Michael Porter. Michael Porter, because he's so tall, he can just shoot the little short shots over. But watch this one here. Notice how Will Barton takes this angle. He's wanting him to come over the top. We've seen Murray, read the defense, but because of the angle that Marcus Morris is taking here, you see he kind of gets on his hip. So Barton's going to set the screen so that he has the option over the top, and then you get the switch. And right here, Aaron Gordon recognizes the switch, so he goes to a hard post up. And this is what I mean. The pass wasn't caught cleanly, so this play gets blown up a little bit. But that's the pressure you put on defenses. If you're going to switch like that, now Marcus Morris is on Will Barton, and now you have a nice physical. Reggie Jackson, for as long as he is, he's great wingspan. Aaron Gordon is way too strong for him. He's going to turn into more and more easier buckets. You got to love. Then the next possession, they come down and run a little C corner. Again, different spots now. Now Gordon's over here in the trigger spot. Great cut by him. Another good angled screen. And look, because of it, Danny Green has to help out. Again, if they don't help out here, this is what they got the other day. Or actually, they even got this in the first play of this game with MPJ. You get a dunk under the basket, but then they react really hard. Can't tell if they're going to switch or not, and now you get them confused in here. Just got to wrap up. This is how. I mean, that was a foul that they didn't call. It's kind of like a crazy no call, but it just goes to show you Nuggets getting everything they want right now. It's just a pick your poison. Whichever one you pick, Nuggets identify it. Go. I talked about third option. We always talk about the screen here on C corner where the offense can go, or Gordon here can go over and curl or under, and there's a third option where he can get the handoff, and you can see he takes that here. Nothing comes of it, and Jokic doesn't give him it. He'll probably learn in time to curl this one through and then exit out the opposite side. Everybody shifts over. He can kind of tell he gets a little cut off guard here, but I just thought I'd highlight so you see the 3 options. Backdoor. In fact, the backdoor would have been the better cut here. Set him up high. PJ thinks he's going to, PJ sees it. He goes low. You could force the switch here and force RJ Hampton to guard you, but he instead elects to go for this one. Jokic doesn't like what he sees, and they go into the pick and roll. This is one of the most important plays, I think. You run a little horn set here. You get this up screen. Michael Porter, either by design, I really can't tell whether it's by design or a read. He fills the defense out of position just a hair, and he slips this. So as you set the screen, you see the defense is getting ready to bump Murray. He slips this and gets in. This is actually this action, not even this play. I'm just talking about the action. This is the inverse of what we've been talking about creating switches.
whenever you get the Murray and Porter here, usually teams don't want to switch this. They're going to try to do a lot of things to fight, and it draws them asleep or on their heels for just 1 second, and you get that great pass from.
Love this slip by Michael Porter. It's not even a slip. You get this screen, and they switch, in part because they're switching back. They wanted this matchup anyway, but afraid of Porter coming out. I mean, this is a little bit of a mistake here by Batum, but he gets the inside, and you can see Jokic kind of telling him, like, bro, go, cut. And he slips here. This is actually a automatic slip, or should be, when a defense plays you this way. Again, slips are very effective against switches, but like right here, he could actually do it, and he would have had it even better, because you see he's even more out of position here. But he waits a second. Jokic is waiting for it. It still works out perfectly. Great cut. And a sign of Michael Porter learning to play with Jokic even more. One of my favorite types of screens, I call these Lonzo screens, because Lonzo Ball's so good of them. You're seeing Michael Porter set it up now. His man has to rotate all hard over, because Jokic now has a huge size advantage. You got a mismatch here in transition. And watch Michael Porter here. He's setting the flare screen for Will Barton. But what he's really doing is distracting the help and this guy. The help thinks, okay, hey, you've got my guy, right? Well, he's got to split the two. So as soon as Jokic catches, he releases. Got him. Call these Lonzo cuts. Boom. Little flare screens. Great instincts by Michael Porter. Jokic loves the tall cutters. There you go. It's not even open. Just barely. Turns into a dunk. I love this by Will Barton here. A little two-man game. They run with him and Jokic. He's working. He gets the switch. Okay, it's reset. And here's what I really love. He comes up top here, and you rotate everybody up. But what I like here is watch the setup. Now Zubac is on him, trying to deny him too hard. Huge mistake. Set him up, gets him off balance. Now it's just a sprint. Who's quicker? 100% Will Barton. We watch it again. Watch Will Barton set him up here. Rotate up. Okay, don't get too impatient. Be patient. Boom, got him. And one. This is another great Will Barton setup against the subtle little things. So you're going to see Reggie Jackson up above here. Calls for Will Barton to be the initiator on this set. Gets denied, and he flares out wide. Jokic steps in, and then immediately Will Barton knows. Right on the pass. Before the pass even arrives, you'll see the timing with Will Barton. Boom. Passes in the air. Will Barton started his cut. And what that does, sprints into it, forces, look at the balance now on Zubac. Knows he has to come hard over here. Will Barton just delivers the pass. Wide open three. All set up with Will Barton here. Just great sort of innate thoughts about how to shift the gravity of the defense. And this is where Aaron Gordon is especially valuable. Plays like that. I mean, number one, he's Denver's defensive ace, on-ball defensive ace. He allows Denver to be switchable. He opens and unlocks things for Michael Porter, all these things. But he also has these skills where he's not an elite playmaker, maybe not even he's probably a secondary playmaker. But for the role Denver has, being able to just make these kinds of quick plays, right? Here we have, the screen and get ready to slip, immediately into a toss for 2 points. Just having a player that can do this, make a high-level pass like that within the flow of the offense, just absolutely incredible. Here's an example of the kind of passer Aaron Gordon is, which is say good but not elite. Come off this, the immediate read is Will Barton wide open here. I mean, the defense is fully tagged on Michael Porter. If you get the ball here right now, it's a wide open three. You take an extra dribble, see it late, and now it's a closeout. Watch it in real time. Read that right away. It's open. Just a second too long, and instead we got to kind of reset the possession. It's going to be one of Denver's go-tos out of timeouts. This is like an elbow get type play. It's a little bit different here because you have this down screen. But it's basically a 5-4 pick and roll. They're setting it low. We're below the three-point line. You're using Murray off ball and Porter screening him, so you create a lot of gravity in this quarter because they feel like the play is coming over here. And indeed the play is. I mean, they're going to get this action a lot. And if both guys over pursue this, Michael Porter has a slip. So you get the screen, but what you're really doing is just vacating this paint here, and you get it up, and we draw a foul. Let's watch it again from the very beginning. Down screen, little ram screen from Murray to Jokic. Elbow screen, 5-4. This is going to be one of those actions that I just don't know how you defend with that much spacing, Barton, Murray, Porter out on the perimeter, that action's going to put defenses in a. This is an elite catch from Aaron Gordon here. Great hands. Look at it. And a great pass, but that's a bullet pass to him. See if I can get it on slow-mo. One hand. That's a great catch. So here's an interesting possession here. Off of a quick make, get the ball up the court, and you create mismatches, even though it's out of a, it's not out of a dead ball. And Jamal Murray sees it. The mismatch is right here. Aaron Gordon now has a little on him. R.J. Hampton switches because he's a little bit longer, but he's still too small. So the Nuggets are going to play through Aaron Gordon in the post, something they haven't done in the half court. But when you have the mismatch, you read it. And what I love is Aaron Gordon doesn't force his touch. He gets a post touch, a rare post touch. He just makes the right read. And the right read is, Jokic dives. He spaces, gives enough space, just creates a nice three.